You seem uncomfortable. Do I make you nervous, Corky?
No.
Thirsty, maybe.
Curious, maybe.
That's funny. I'm feeling a little bit curious myself.
I want you flat on your back, helpless, tender, open, with only me to help. And then I want you strong again. You're not going to die. You might wish you're going to die, but you're not going to. You need to settle down a little. Welcome to Pleasers.
And Punishers.
Where we talk about movies that people love to watch.
Movies that ruin your today, tomorrow, and yesterday.
And all things kinky and queer.
I'm Caitlin of the North.
And I'm May. Juice, passports, Juice, Schultz.
And today we're discussing, was that you who just rode a horse around the room? Because I agree that is entirely too much movement for breakfast. It is a Phantom Thread from 2017, written and directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, starring Daniel Day-Lewis, Vicky Creeps, and Leslie Manville, and special shout-out costume design by Mark Bridges.
Excellent. Well, you wrote our opening question here, Caitlin, so why don't you ask it?
Are you fucking chic?
I don't think so. I don't think I am. I think there was a point in the last couple of years where I could have said that I was fucking chic. But these days, I am a little, what's the word? Not slovenly. I suppose I'm just more casual these days rather than chic.
Comfortable?
I wish.
Oh, no!
Listeners, in case you don't know, I'm having a rough time. 2025 has been a rough year for me.
It is. What a fucked up year this has been.
Yeah, truly. And since this is our last episode of 2025, we're recording this mid-December, but it's the last one you're going to hear in 2025.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. This is coming out on Christmas.
Happy birthday, Christmas. Very Merry Jesus. Kids don't grow up like us.
Well, yeah, it's been a rough year, and starting this podcast with you, Caitlin, has been one of the best parts of my year. So thank you for doing this with me, and thanks, listeners, for supporting us and checking us out. I know we're just a tiny little podcast that could get lost amongst the sea of other things, especially because there are so many podcasts about movies in particular. So if you're here, if you're listening, thank you. It means a lot to me.
Yes, absolutely. And same. This year was a bit of a disaster. And then you asked me to do this podcast and things started to turn around. So I'm hoping I'm not just leeching all of your luck off of you. Because that would be fucking rude.
What luck? I have no luck.
Like, I am depleted. There is nothing. Take me away.
Okay, but are you chic?
But am I chic? In a sense, yes. Absolutely. I think I am well dressed. I have a very strong sense of style and personality. However, I would not consider myself a trendy dresser, nor am I interested in taking part in trends whatsoever. In the slightest. I have been known to, if I see something that I own on someone else, to like, this is trash now, I must get rid of it. This doesn't adequately represent me if it's representing other people. So I have maybe a bit of a snob. I don't know.
So it's like when Cher and Ty show up to the party in Clueless and Amber is wearing one of Cher's outfits.
Oh, yes. No, that's the end of it. That's her outfit now.
Yep. Well, speaking of outfits, let's get into some role play.
Is that your bathing suit? Is that your overbite?
Now, one of you will be the drowning victim, and the other one gets to be our lifesaver.
I'll be the victim. All your life.
Hey!
I did it. A good transition. All right. I pulled this synopsis from Wikipedia. I'm sorry. I watched this movie. We're recording this on a Tuesday. We don't usually record on Tuesdays. I watched it last Thursday with Erica, and I was pretty high, and I was not in a place to write a synopsis for it. I was just trying to focus on the movie. So thank you, Wikipedia. Here we go. In 1954 London, fashion designer Reynolds Woodcock creates dresses for members of high society, including royalty. His clients view him as a genius whose creations enable them to become their best selves, but his creativity and charm are matched by his obsessive and controlling personality.
Snotty bitch.
Ugh, seriously. Cyril, his sister, manages his fashion house's day-to-day operations and tries to protect him from anything that might distract him from his work. The superstitious Reynolds is haunted by their mother's death and often stitches hidden messages into the linings of dresses he makes, usually for luck, I think.
He doesn't want to curse any of curse any of his patrons because then he doesn't get their money.
It's true. And whoever has cursed me with this year, a pox upon you.
You do not get May's money either. I hope you don't get anyone's money next year.
After designing a new gown for a revered client, Lady Harding, Reynolds visits a restaurant near his country house and meets a foreign waitress named Alma Elson. She accepts his invitation to dinner, their relationship blossoms, and she moves in with him, becoming his model, muse, and lover. This first date is one of the most awkward and horrible first dates I have ever seen portrayed in a movie. It is worse than any bad first date that I have been on. If you hadn't already written an opening question, mine was going to be, what's the worst first date you've ever had? Because, oh my God. Like, I thought it was cute when he sat down at the restaurant and he ordered 4 million things.
For the hungry boy.
I even thought it was cute when he asked her to dinner. But the actual date, oh my God, just red flag after red flag after red flag that made me want to rip my skin off.
Was it what was your favorite part? When Cyril walked in?
When Cyril walked in and said, "Who's this lovely creature making the house smell so delicious?" or something to that effect. It was unsettling.
Let me just have my sister sit here while I take your measurements. No big.
Yeah. Wait. At first, Alma enjoys being a part of Reynolds' work, but he proves aloof, hard to please, and finicky. As a result, they start to bicker. When Alma tries to show her love for Reynolds by surprising him with a romantic dinner, he lashes out, calling it an ambush and questioning her motives. Alma retaliates by poisoning his tea with wild mushrooms gathered outside the country house.
Okay, so I have written down, what was my note here?
While you're looking for that,
yes.
I just want to say, I was so disappointed that she was not trying to kill him. I wanted her to kill him so badly. I wanted her to kill him and then be like, oh, actually, I'm in love with Cyril. And then they get to run the fashion house together.
Cyril. Cyril is just the best. Like MVP, VIP, all of the acronyms, KPI. Yes. What I am looking here for was, oh yes, the surprise with that fucking butter sauce. And, just Alma tried so hard grasping at their relationship. And she says that part where it goes, she's just sitting around waiting for you to get rid of me. And then she poisons his ass.
Yep. Wait. As he readies a wedding gown for a Belgian princess, Reynolds collapses, damaging the dress and forcing his staff to work all night to repair it.
This makes me ill, though. Every time he rips this dress and I'm like, that part, it just, like, gets me right in, like, my chest.
And that's why you tell people when you're not feeling well. He becomes gravely ill and has hallucinations of his mother. Alma stays by his side, nursing him back to health. After Reynolds recovers, he tells Alma that a house that does not change is a dead house and asks her to marry him. Taken aback, she hesitates, but then accepts. What the fuck? After a honeymoon in Switzerland, Reynolds and Alma start bickering again as his domineering personality reasserts itself. Cyril tells Reynolds that Lady Harding is now a client at a rival fashion house and suggests that his classic conservative designs may be going out of style. Reynolds blames Alma for upending his routines, saying she doesn't fit in, and has turned he and Cyril against each other.
Was this the, what a model of politeness you two are?
Ugh, yeah.
There's
Alma
an air
overhears
of quiet
him.
Death. Oh, it's like, there's an air of quiet death in this house, and I do not like how it smells.
Back out at the country house, Alma makes Reynolds an omelet poisoned with the same mushrooms as before.
Okay, yeah, she does.
As he chews his first bite, she informs him that she wants him weak and vulnerable, then strong again after she has taken care of him. Reynolds realizes the omelet is poisoned, but ostentatiously swallows the bite and tells her to kiss him before he is sick. As he lies ill again, Alma imagines their future with children, a rich social life, and a bigger role for her in the dressmaking business. She acknowledges that while there are challenges ahead, their love and their complementary needs can overcome them. The Phantom Thread, the Phantom Thread. Credit to Paul F. Tompkins for that song. So tell me, Caitlin, do you enjoy omelets?
What kind of omelets? There's many kinds of omelets.
Well, that was going to be my follow-up question. If you do enjoy omelets, what is your jam when it comes to an omelet? What are your preferred fillings?
I believe I like a French-style omelet. I think they're a little thinner. Mm-hmm. Oh, I like a bougie omelet, definitely. I'm like a fig jam. I just had a very lovely crepe brunch the other day that was like ham and fig jam, and goat cheese, and arugula, and I'm like, oh, I love this shit so much.
See, and I am not an omelet fan. Scrambled eggs are good, as long as they're not runny at all. But there is something about the texture of an omelet that it is so... I don't know. This is my autistic brain. I can't do omelets. The texture fucks me up. If I did have an omelet, I would absolutely want, like, potatoes and cheese and stuff in it. I love a frittata. Frittatas are delicious.
Like a quiche?
No, I don't want the quiche. I don't want the crust. I just want a frittata. So
I'm
give
not
me
a big
like
crust fan either.
Give me eggs. Give me like I would say ricotta and parmesan. Give me basil and plenty of salt and pepper. And there we go. That's an ideal frittata for me.
I definitely need something spicy in mine as well.
I
would say something spicy. Maybe some like caramelized onions.
Are those spicy?
No, and caramelized onions. Sorry, I'm adding to my omelet right now.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure my omelet is more stuffed than egg, which is how I prefer it.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's like people who love condiments. The thing you're eating is just a vessel for the condiment. So the eggs are just a vessel for all of the other stuff. Okay, well, this was a pick from you. So tell me about your experience with and relationship to this film.
So I'm trying to think I think I just saw the trailers and I went, well, this looks exactly up my alley. Like dresses, yes. Paul Thomas Anderson, I go back and forth on. It's kind of funny. I pretty much like everything of his that I've seen, but there's a lot of his stuff that I haven't seen. So I'm like, da-da-da-da-da. But there's something either in the trailer that was just like, I really want to see this movie. It was getting a lot of good reviews at the time. And then Brian told me that his parents nearly walked out. I went, oh, I'm going to love this movie. That must mean it's really good. Because I have the polar opposite. nearly polar opposite taste as his parents do. I like good movies. So, I do not. I don't know what it is.
I am really curious about what made them walk out of this movie.
They didn't walk out, but he told me they almost did. And it might have been when she poisoned him. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I am not entirely sure, but they were not having a good time. We went to the theater. I sat down, and I think one of the first lines is Reynolds, Cyril, and at that time, the woman who...
Johanna.
Oh, poor Johanna.
Seriously.
And Reynolds just goes, no more stodgy things. And I went, oh! And then I cannot begin my day with confrontation, please. I cannot take up space with confrontation. I do not have time for confrontations. And I just went, okay, bitch, library's open. I am sitting back and I am here for this. I am living for every catty remark, every just clap back that is thrown, beautiful dresses, beautiful gowns, and some of I was like, I do not believe a heterosexual wrote this because, my God, dripping. I just thought the whole thing was dripping with homosexuality, and I'm like, this is my space. This is where I'm living for.
I was genuinely surprised that Reynolds ended up in a heterosexual relationship. That I found that very interesting. So this was a first-time watch for me. I am very mixed on Paul Thomas Anderson. I have not seen a large number of his films, but I hate Magnolia. I hate There Will Be Blood. I think Boogie Nights is a good movie, but I've never wanted to watch it a second time.
I have seen Boogie Nights so many times. Yeah. I used to masturbate to it, so. Not the sad parts, like I would stop after like the sexy part. Oh my God. And then just continue watching the movie. I compartmentalize really well.
Got it. I like Punch Drunk Love.
I always forget about Punch Drunk Love.
And I hated this. I really did not like this movie, and I'll talk more about that later. But yeah, I watched this with Erica, and she's also kind of mixed on Paul Thomas Anderson. She's mostly liked his movies that she's seen, but she absolutely despises Licorice Pizza, and she didn't really like this one very much. And it's also funny because we have a very strange relationship, and, you know, I take care of her a lot when she's sick, and when she fucked up her foot over the summer, and I basically lived at her place for a month and a half, just constantly taking care of her.
Had to go get that centipede.
Well, it actually was nice. However, I wouldn't wish her ill in order to be able to take care of her. But we'll also talk more about that later. For now, let's go into our next section, Faith and Chance.
I can't exist by myself because I'm afraid of myself. Because I'm the maker of my own evil. Goodness is only some kind of reflection upon evil. That's all it is.
Caitlin, take me away.
Picture it. Haute Couture, 1954.
Just imagining the music that they use in like Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, that is so funny. I was going to say Golden Girls. So, PTA got interested. Paul Thomas Anderson. Got interested in fashion. I got this one from Wikipedia. After reading about, quote, the king of fashion, quote, the master of us all, and the man that Nazi Coco Chanel once called the only true couturier in the truest sense of the word, adding only he is capable of cutting material, assembling a creation, and sewing it by hand, and the others are simply fashion designers. That is correct. We are talking about Cristobal Balenciaga.
Wow.
What an introduction.
Also, thank you for appropriately calling Coco Chanel a Nazi.
Holy shit. So I got off on a tangent when I was reading about Balenciaga because I wanted to make sure. I was like, she was a Nazi, right? Y'all, she was a Nazi.
Mm-hmm.
She worked very closely with the Nazi party, sowing disinformation, and as a spy, she was part of a whole plan, operation, like model hat. So, model hut, maybe? I don't speak German. I don't speak most languages. Yeah, like trying to hand over Madrid to the Nazi. Like,
Jesus Christ.
She was heavily involved before and after. So,
So, Coco Chanel, rotten hell.
Yep. I wish there was a hell that Coco Chanel could rot in.
Yeah, I go back and forth on whether or not I believe in hell. I believe in hell for the truly bad people. I believe everyone else just either ceases to exist or gets reincarnated in some way. It's very comforting to me.
Love that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, tell me more about the king of fashion.
Balenciaga. So, born in 1895 in a Basque town, he was like a sewing prodigy. He opened his first boutique in 1919, and he is someone who he created a lot of the clothing for the Spanish nobility, aristocracy, which, if you're doing the math here, correct, he definitely had to flee Spain during the Franco-fascist regime because he was heavily aligned with the nobility in Spain.
And also, I'm assuming, gay?
Oh, yes. Yes. It was Wikipedia had it, but a lot of the things I read or watched did not say he was gay. I was like,
maybe they just think people are going to assume.
His longtime roommate and collaborator.
Oh my God, they were roommates.
Yes, so he also gay. And he, as already said, he was a couturier. So he is cutting everything. I mean, he's not cutting everything, but everything is hand done. That is what haute couture is. It is made to order. It's one of a kind. This is like the stratosphere of fashion. When we talk about something that's, let's say, fucking chic, it would be ready to wear. So that's mass produced. You can just go and buy it in a store, depending on who the designer is, because I can't just go into a store and buy Balenciaga at this time. So,
You ought to talk to your girl. Your dress looks like you bought it in a store. Sorry, that's a Firefly deep cut for
That's so good.
anyone who knows what the fuck I'm talking about.
Oh, Kaylee.
But it felt appropriate.
Oh, Kaylee, and those bows. But yes, we are not buying things in stores right now. What is interesting with Balenciaga is, though kind of different than I would say Reynolds, is he was at the forefront of basically just doing really revolutionary things with the form. Prior to, I'm going to say, except for obviously a little bit in the 20s there, but prior to the 1960s, really it was about shaping the form to the clothing, not the clothing to the form. So basically you are going to manipulate the body to fit into these clothes. That's corsetting, girdles, etc., etc., etc. That's what that is all about, which is a lot of times if you go vintage shopping and you go back far enough, I mean, I'm really talking anything pre like 1980s, 70s a bit, and the waists are itsy bitsy, it's because everyone was corseted. You are just, they're not made to fit a natural, free-flowing body. And one of the things that was very interesting that Balenciaga started to do is he went the opposite, because in the 50s, For those of you, it was very corseted, smaller waists. I will get into it, but like Dior's new look was very big. Small waist, bigger, like very hourglass shape. And Balenciaga went and was like, I'm going to create a sack dress. I am going to de-emphasize the waist with all of these things. And he also made this wedding dress that has like one seam in it. It's pretty incredible.
Wow.
Yeah, he was just such a magician, a master of the art of making clothing. He actually never created a ready-to-wear line. And when he passed away, he said, it's closed. The fashion house is closed. I don't want this to continue. For him, it was really about the artistry and the beauty of making clothes and not necessarily any sort of fanfare. At least that's what I read in certain areas. Don't at me if you're like, oh no, he was an asshole. Everything I read, he was very like quiet and kind of kept to himself and very, very gay. He made a few wedding dresses for royalty, which I feel like was heavily, again, very heavily inspired when Reynolds makes the wedding dress for the princess of... The amount of times I've seen this movie, this is a comfort watch for me. You would think I could remember where that princess was from. This is a comfort watch. I watch this when I'm feeling sad. Yeah, so Balenciaga ended up retiring in 1968. He came out of retirement just 4 years later because he accepted a job of designing a wedding gown, which was actually for the granddaughter of Francisco Franco. What a time! But it was her wedding to the grandson of the Spanish king in exile, Alfonso XIII. And that was the last of his work. So Balenciaga was a big inspiration on Reynolds, however, in the movie. Let's talk about Charles James. Oh, just really quick, because you're like, Balenciaga is still a label, Caitlin, and a fashion house. Yes, it ended up getting opened up later. The rights got sold by like one of the people who ended up with it for some money. And so it's not like the original Balenciaga house. It's actually kind of an interesting history if you want to look into it. It's readily available on the internet. Now let's talk about Charles James.
Okay.
A lot of what I'm going to say actually comes from the Metropolitan Museum of Art. They had a Charles James exhibit. Charles James was an English-American designer alive from 1906 to 1978, and he is actually widely considered one of the most important Western European designers.
Okay.
And he is not particularly well known because there is no House of Charles James. There is no, right. He never, again, this is another, he never really did a ready-to-wear line. Or he never did a ready-to-wear line, so that, especially as couture really started to decline after the 50s, which is also why Reynolds things are not fucking chic. So, Charles James had no formal training, and he just made dresses with knowledge of like sculpture, math, and architecture. They said Dior widely credits him as one of the main inspiration of Dior's new look, which is very well known and very influential moving forward in the shapes and silhouettes of the time. For Charles James, quote, use the female body as a point of reference rather than a defining factor of his formulation. That when Reynolds is first measuring Alma, and he's like, I will give you breasts, or I won't. Depends on what I want. This is what he's talking about. This bitch, Charles James, created the strapless gown. He engineered the first strapless gown.
It seems insane that didn't exist until
right.
the middle of the 20th century.
Yes, I'm trying to remember exactly when he did. Like, it could have been the 30s, but yes.
Okay, but still.
Mm-hmm. Actually, it's funny because Mark Bridges, who did the costumes, had said he wanted to get Alma in a strapless gown. He wanted to have a strapless gown, but we might talk about this later. But Daniel Day-Lewis, as Reynolds, was like, I find strapless gowns vulgar. So Mark was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to get her in a strapless gown. And Vicky Creeps went, oh no, I was talking to him. And he said, they're vulgar, but not on me. So that is why the very iconic image of that dress got to be designed.
Jesus Christ.
Yes. Welcome to the life of an actor. You know what else Charles James did? He was horrifically difficult. Incredibly biting. Very hard to work with, to live with. Quote. In one video, a grumpy and wizened James describes former Vogue editor-in-chief Diana Vreeland as, quote, the queen of perversity, and calls Halston, quote, a middle-of-the-road man who would be better as a buyer in a store or as a stylist. Bitch. In another, he quips, I am not a designer. Designers are only hired help that copy what is in the wind. They don't create fashion. Only the couturier does, with his client as inspiration. Is by How Charles James Changed Couture by Radhika Seth. He was out and gay in 1954. However, he marries Nancy Lee Gregory from Kansas, who was 20 years his junior, and they had 2 children. This was in 1954. So keep this in mind, the year the movie first takes place. And somehow, some way, I don't know, but their marriage lasted until 1961 when it dissolved. Charles James lost a lot of money because he was his fastidiousness, because he was so exacting, and he just had so many extravagant and unfinished pieces. He would start things for clients and he wouldn't finish them. He would get distracted on a new project. He ends up moving to the Chelsea Hotel in 1964 and dies in 1978, just kind of surrounded by a lot of unfinished pieces and works that he had wanted to do. But by this point, no one wanted to work with him, and he wasn't stable enough. You know, you didn't know if you were going to get your piece or not. Mm-hmm. So there is a book that is called Charles James, Portrait of an Unreasonable Man by I think it's Michelle Gerber Klein. And she says, I wanted to tell Charles's story through the women who influenced him. It gave me a chance to look at the women from different perspective and see how their stories fed back into his. This is from the article by Radhika Seth. Does Klein believe James to be the most unreasonable man in fashion? Quote, all progress depends on the unreasonable man, she replies. Charles had an artistic temperament, and I think anyone who is so passionate about their work has to be unreasonable to some degree. He was a true visionary who changed the world. He was one of the first to use zips. He experimented with new fabrics like fake fur and made the first quilted jacket designed to be worn outside. He even predicted the rise of blue jeans when women were still wearing full skirts.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Visionary. In his lifetime, Charles was unfairly depicted as a difficult, wild, and an eccentric man, she says. Writing this book was my way of defending him. James, however, rarely needed defending. When the ambulance attendants were called to the Chelsea Hotel to retrieve him, he asked them to wait while he adjusted his makeup. When asked to identify himself, he replied, it may not mean anything to you, but I am what is popularly regarded as the greatest couturier in the Western world.
Wow.
I'm dying, bitch.
Jesus Christ.
What was wild to me was I didn't know any of this before I started looking. Like, I knew he had to have been based on someone.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started reading about Charles James, I was like, wait. So the person who this character is most based off was gay, did end up marrying a woman. He made a comment at one point, I believe, saying something like, sometimes you need other doors open for you.
Mm.
I feel like this movie does skewer this difficult white men as geniuses because he's so ineffective a lot of the time. But also he is completely surrounded by women. He's completely everything in his life depends on women. His whole livelihood, his ability to survive in the world depends on Cyril, Alma, the women who buy his fashions. I just find it interesting with the book. I forgot to look up when it was written. It might have been before, though, Phantom Thread came out. That book was written, pulled in a lot of the women in his life. Mm-hmm. But we are getting to the end of this difficult white men as geniuses. Like, okay, we all get it. This golden age of really TV was a big one that I was thinking of. We had like Mad Men, which 2007 to 2015, Breaking Bad, 2008 to 2013, House, 2004 to 2012, Boardwalk Empire, 2010 to 2014, and on and on. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of them. And we really start to see a decline in appetite for these type of narratives because we have seen it so much.
Right.
Y'all ran it out. Don't blame us for not wanting to see it anymore. Blame y'all for jumping on the bandwagon and being like, this is all anyone wants to see.
Because it's fucking chic.
Because it's fucking chic, exactly. That's why we don't be trendy, y'all. We don't be trendy, y'all. Where am I from? No one will ever know.
The forest.
I know. I just go back with the wolves where I belong.
Yeah, you're a wood nymph.
Pretty much. And as these shows start to decline, I feel like we do start to get a lot more. For some reason, Broad City really came to mind for me as like, these like genius men and it's very beautiful women, and everyone's on pedestals or not, and we love to support a man behaving badly, but not a woman, and then we start to get a few more of those narratives, and Broad City was something that really came to mind for me at the time.
I love Broad City.
I love Broad City so fucking much.
That someone did a painting of Abby and Alana in that split screen where they're each sitting in their bathrooms smoking weed, and I have that hanging above my toilet. Although, I don't think I've ever smoked weed in the bathroom.
What? Really?
Yeah, I just do in the living room.
Like, ever in your life?
I mean, I've only been smoking weed for a little over 4 years.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that. I was like, you have never hotboxed a bathroom? Well, don't do it now. It'd be terrible. It's great when you're, like, 20s.
Yeah, no, I the first time I voluntarily smoked weed was in November 2021.
My mind is fucking blown.
I know.
I've been smoking weed since 2000.
All right, well.
Sorry, you're just like.
I am unfortunately not high right now. I wish I was. But before I can do that, tell me what influence this had on our culture.
So I will say this got nominated for a shit ton of awards. There's a lot of critic associations from around the world. 6 Academy Award nominations, Best Picture, Director, Actor, Supporting Actor, Best Original Score, and Costume Design. It ended up winning Costume Design. Not surprised. Shout out to fucking Mark Bridges. That's phenomenal work. Mm-hmm. Nailed the time period. Nailed just like the economic status.
Yep. Yeah, I do love the fashion in the movie. That's one thing I will for sure give it.
Is the costuming, that opera dress that is just the column dress. It looks almost medieval-esque. Mm-hmm. Very, very... Balenciaga did a whole collection that was inspired by around the same time. And so I'm just over here like, nom, 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 nom. Fashion. It got 4 BAFTA nominations, also 1 for costumes, 2 Golden Globe noms, and as I said, a bunch of other things. So, other than that, I feel like this movie isn't talked about a whole lot. It's kind of, I feel like it's kind of an outlier with PTA's movies because it's not as bombastic.
Yeah,
a lot of the other stories
I can
he
see that.
tells.
This is a much quieter, contained story that doesn't have, I guess bombastic is a good word. I was going to say it doesn't have the explosive tension that many of his other films seem to have.
Right? When she first poisons him, you're kind of like, wait, what?
Again, I was really hoping she was trying to kill him, and I was really disappointed when it turned out to not be that.
Overall, we have a 91% on the Rotten. See, I say Rotten Tomatoes. So that is, I just started saying that as a joke.
It's like how I say bless you and people burp. I started doing that when I was like 8 years old, and it just became a habit.
I've started to do something really obnoxious this year where it came up with my sister because her birthday is around Christmas. And so I was like, well, that one box is going to be for your birthday. The other one is going to be for Jesus's birthday. I keep going, this is what I'm going to get you for Jesus's birthday. Your present for Jesus's birthday is on the way.
Absolutely incredible.
What
I
a
love
shit
that.
ass. So we have a 91% on the Rotten Tomatoes, 7.4 out of 10 on IMDb, and a 4.2 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Ooh. May probably brought that down a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I gave it a 2.5, but I've been thinking about it for a few days, and I've been considering lowering it to a 2. And let's find out more about why I feel that way after we make that money. So now we'll dig into the meat, the goo, and the viscera, maybe some hidden pockets with little messages in them, in a section we call Enough is a Myth.
No. I've done enough. Enough is a myth.
Reynolds firmly believes that the spirit of his mother is always with him, even seeing her when he is in a feverish state of illness. Do you believe that Reynolds is actually seeing his mother or that she's a hallucination? And what do you think the significance is that she is wearing a wedding dress when she appears to him?
Ooh, I had always thought she was a hallucination because he's on poison mushrooms.
Well, yeah.
You know, or it could be ripping open the space-time continuum, and she's come on through to the other side.
Thanks, Jim Morrison.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. You should go as Jim Morrison for Halloween. That would be so funny.
Sometimes Brian's like, it's so funny that you don't like Bob Dylan at all because you sometimes have a very big Bob Dylan thing the way you dress. And I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Oh, Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan.
I'm going to talk a lot.
Going to do the wave.
He's the only one. Anyway, there's all those things about the wedding dress, right? The superstitions and and part of, it's like, again, there's so many women in this movie, and he doesn't talk about men at all.
Nope.
His father never comes up.
Nope.
Barely. The men we do see, it's very fleeting. It takes a long time before I think another man even has a line in the movie.
Yeah, and isn't it the client's fiance who gave passports to Jews during the war? As if that's a bad thing? I was so confused about that.
Oh, the politics, right?
Yeah. Ugh.
Shout out to Hedy Lamarr and Marlene Dietrich, two not Nazis who help people out a lot. I think I heard this on You Must Remember This. Sorry, this is off topic, but Marlene Dietrich wanted to assassinate Hitler, and her whole idea, she would go in and seduce him, and then they'd both be naked, and she'd pull like a hairpin she pours something out of somewhere and then stab him. They're like, okay, but you're naked in this scenario, so where is the weapon?
Well, if it's a hairpin, it's in her hair.
It could be in her hair.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just wonderful. I'm like, oh, yes.
I personally think that his strong belief that his mother's presence is always with him and Cyril lends credence to the fact that she is actually there. And he's only seeing her because he is in this feverish state because of poison mushrooms. So he is taking a peek through the veil, so to speak, and seeing this comforting presence that's always there. And I think that's part of what helps him recover. As for her being in her wedding dress.
Who made the wedding dress?
That she's wearing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought he talks about making a dress for her at one point, but then I was like, well, he wouldn't make her a wedding dress because it was
I'm pretty sure he made her the dress she was buried in.
But he goes, I'm certain I was never meant to marry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a confirmed bachelor. I'm incurable. Marriage would make me deceitful, and I don't ever want that.
Yeah, that's why I was so confused when he asked her to marry him.
That there is this idea of magic in the wedding dress, the purity of it, the secret messages hidden in the dresses.
So maybe it's him seeing his mother as she would be like an ideal version of herself to be able to connect with him. He's seeing her as a younger version of herself in her wedding dress because that would have a large emotional resonance for him.
Either that or he wants to marry his mom.
I mean, there was a point where I was like, do he and Cyril have a thing going on? It's like, what's happening here? Anyway, next question. In a beautiful moment of defiance, Alma questions Reynolds' choice of fabric for a dress and is chastised for it by both Reynolds and Cyril. Was Alma right about that dress and that fabric? Because I think she was.
Oh, absolutely.
That fabric was hideous, and it's the only dress in the film that is not stunningly gorgeous, and it is just because of the fabric. The shape, totally great, but that fabric was wrong.
Wrong for the dress. She was very, very correct. I love how there is the moment. Was it before they go to the New Year's Eve party, which I'm pretty sure that the theme was racism? Was that the dress she's wearing? And he stops and he's, at one point, she actually designs the dress and he stops. And also, that was a really racist New Year's Eve party.
Yes, it was. The dress that she designs, I believe she's wearing the night she tries to surprise
It's a surprise. It's the surprise. She surprised him with a dress that she designed, which was very exciting.
It is beautiful. I love that dress.
And I love how he looks like goes, interesting.
Ugh. Yeah, and that's like, it felt like jealousy almost, or like frustration that she was able to do that without anything from him.
Because also hers would probably be a bit more current as well.
Mm-hmm. Because
she doesn't come from the social class, or hasn't been around the social class as long as they have. She's not in the same mindset of like who she's designing for. She's designing for herself.
Right. And she does an incredible job.
I really hope that, yes, she does take a lot more. She gets to design a lot more as well. They can be collaborators.
Well, speaking of their collaboration, Alma and Reynolds have a volatile relationship and in the end find a way to engage in a kink that works for both of them despite the other challenges they face. How do you feel about a kink that is both literally and figuratively toxic? And does it make it okay because they're engaging in it consensually?
I mean, I fucking love it. I don't think, not in real life. for me. But there is something about just how awful it is that it loops back around to I'm like, yes. Like the drama. I really love a fucked up love story. Just that first time. She's like, he gets a little too rowdy. I just have to settle him down. And I don't know if it's also because like there is definitely part of me that like, I don't need to be tied up every time I have sex, but like one great time a month, that will definitely settle me down.
But being tied up is very different than being poisoned by mushrooms, which is not an exact science.
No, it's not. I mean, eventually he'll probably start to get a bit of a tolerance, though. So that'll be.
And then she'll start using iocane powder.
Right. Oh.
I really do not like this, and it's less about the unhealthy kink dynamic and more about how they arrive at it, because there's no conversation about it. There's no informed consent. And like obviously in the end they both agree to do this and both agree that it works for them and they are clearly in love with each other. But I think the other problem for me is it's a heterosexual appearing relationship. Whatever alignment he actually has, this relationship appears to be heterosexual. And I just don't fucking care. I don't know. I'm sorry, straight people, but like, you've got enough love stories. If this was a story between two women, it would do a lot more for me. Or two men, it would do a lot more for me.
Good news.
I don't know. There is something that really, really bothers me about it. And I think part of it is Reynolds' character being so insufferable to me. And part of it is just having been in abusive relationships where people take away my choice of informed consent. And it rubs me the wrong way. I think there are a lot of different ways to engage in kink. I think some kink is riskier than other kink. Obviously, something like blood play is a lot more intense and risky than impact play. However, when engaging in that, you generally know all the risks, have safety procedures in place, etc., so that you are not just possibly dying because of a kink that you have. So I have a lot of feelings about this. And like I said, part of it is that I just find Reynolds as a character absolutely insufferable. I don't find him entertaining. I don't find his snipes and his quips funny or clever. They're just cruel. And I was talking to my friend Olivia about this, and she said, sometimes I just like a movie about a guy who sucks. And I was like, that is fair. And every now and then I like a movie about a guy who sucks, but he has to have some kind of redeeming quality. We're going to talk about that more when we cover Tenebrae in a couple weeks, because Peter Neal, the main character in Tenebrae, he kind of sucks. He's kind of an arrogant dick. He is also extremely charming and has the ability to be extremely kind. Oh, yes. And that balance is what makes it work for me. That does not exist here. There is no balance. He's just a dick. Reynolds is a dick. A very talented dick, but a dick nonetheless.
Oh, yes.
Well, before I have an aneurysm, let's move on to our next section and play a game.
Hello. You don't know me, but I know you. I want to play a game.
All right, Caitlin, what's our game?
All right. So I'm going to call this game, and the nominees are... I am low-key obsessed with the Academy Awards, and I don't know why, because I hate them. I think they're trash. I hate watch. That's what it is. I hate watch the Academy Awards like nobody's business. I remember when Gwyneth Paltrow won for Best Actress What was
For
that?
Great Expectations?
For Shakespeare in Love, and then Shakespeare in
Oh,
Love,
yeah, that's right.
and then it won Best Picture. And I remember I was at my aunt's house, and I just like stood up. I walked out the door. We lived across the street. I walked across the street, and I was like, I'm never watching these ever again. And maybe it took me like 10 years to watch the Academy Awards. So I really love to hate the Academy Awards.
Fair.
So, as I said, this movie was nominated for several categories. I am going to go through the categories, and I am going to ask you who ended up winning these.
Okay.
All right. This will be interesting because I don't know if you have any knowledge of the Academy Awards.
Are you going to give me options of the
Yes.
other nominees?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Okay, great.
Yes,
Great, great.
God, yes. Because
I
it'd
was
be
like-
best music score, go.
Look, I have autism, but not that much.
Just be so cruel. Okay, so this is from the 90th Academy Awards. I have taken out all the phantom threads. We're going to start with Best Music, Original Score. We have Hans Zimmer for Dunkirk, John Williams for Star Wars The Last Jedi. Yes. Alexandra Desplat for The Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Carter Burwell.
I believe it was The Shape of Water that won.
Ding, 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 ding.
Desplat, or however you say his name, is... He's normally pretty excellent. I did not really like his Frankenstein score. It just didn't do much for me. But normally he's great. So, not surprised he won that year.
All right. Leslie Manville was nominated for Best Supporting Actress. Did not win, which was criminal. Here were the other nominees. We have Laurie Metcalf for Lady Bird, Octavia Spencer for The Shape of Water, Allison Janney for I, Tonya, and Mary J. Blige for Mudbound.
I believe it was Allison Janney for I, Tonya.
You're
Why
doing
do I
great.
know this?
I love this. I don't remember. I don't think this was the same year that Mary J. Blige won the Super Bowl, but that was like the best Super Bowl ever. She won. Daniel Day-Lewis was nominated for Best Actor in a Leading Role.
Sorry.
Here were
Sorry.
our other.
Oh, sorry.
Here were
I don't
our
know what
other
that was.
nominees. We have Timothy Chalamet for Call Me By Your Name, Gary Oldman for The Darkest Hour, Daniel Kaluuya for Get Out, and Denzel Washington for Roman J. Israel Esquire. I could barely get through that one.
I am really not sure. What was the first one again?
Timothy Chardonnay. As we just said last 2 weeks
Timmy
ago.
Chardonnay.
Yes.
I'm going to say it was Timmy Chardonnay.
It was Gary Oldman for The Darkest Hour. This is where he played
I don't even know what that...
Right?
Oh, that's when he played
Winston
Winston
Churchill.
Churchill. Okay. Yep. No, that makes sense. If I had remembered what that movie was, I would have said
You're
that.
like, I don't know what the hell that is.
People always jizz their shorts over a historical war film where someone is playing an actual person from history.
Oh, they
and
love a reenactment.
I don't know. I just feel like it's a lot harder to play an original character than a person that already existed, because the person that already existed is someone you can completely model your acting behavior after.
You know, what I'm going to say is it's 2 different skills.
Yeah, no. I'm
yes, but
sorry.
no.
I'm not saying that doesn't take talent. I'm
Yes.
just saying I think the extent to which people
Oh, especially the Academy
Go nuts
Awards
for it.
love
Yeah.
they over reward that kind of performance 100%. One of my favorite parts about this is Denzel Washington. I just remember his face because he was just like, why am I nominated? He honestly, I think he even said, he's like, this wasn't the one. Like, I don't know. And so when they showed the clip and they got to him, he was just like, I don't know. They did this to me. And what it felt like.
All right.
All right. The next ones are going to be pretty easy, I will say. But also, I just want to say them so people remember who else was nominated this year. So for Best Directing, we had Jordan Peele for Get Out, Guillermo del Toro for The Shape of Water, Christopher Nolan for Dunkirk, and Greta Gerwig for Lady Bird.
I'm guessing that went to Nolan.
No, it went till Del Toro.
Oh, it did? I still haven't seen The Shape of Water.
Oh, a lot of people didn't like it. Well, get to that in a moment. We'll get to our last one. Best Picture. So our nominees were Call Me By Your Name, Dunkirk, The Darkest Hour, Get Out, The Shape of Water, Lady Bird, The Post. And if everyone just went, what the fuck is The Post? It was directed by Steven Spielberg and starring Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
And was nominated for nothing else.
Weird.
It was so weird. Mainly because of how big everyone else is. When they throw something like that to an indie film, that's really fucking cool. But I was just like, what? I had no recollection of that movie.
Did Shape of Water win?
It did. There was one more. It was 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri. The Shape of Water did end up winning. And I did feel like there was a lot of backlash to it because of that, particularly because Get Out was right there. They both deal with racism, but one is a very watered down. There's very simplified.
Well, of course, Get Out didn't win. It's a horror movie made by a black director. I mean,
so again, hate watching. I am hate watching. I didn't I thought it was, I get very wrapped up in the fantasy that is Del Toro. So I like it that there's, and as we've already discussed, I'm a monster fucker, so it doesn't really bother me. See previous episode, The Untamed. I keep saying see it. Just go to the app and look at it, but don't press play.
Yeah.
I just want you to see it.
Just look at it. Well, do you have any final thoughts about this movie, Caitlin?
Oh, yes, I do. So,
okay. Do you want to go first, or should I go first with all my negative Nancy bullshit?
You go first. I love it. Go!
So, my final thoughts. I hate Daniel Day-Lewis. I have never seen a single movie that he is in where I actually enjoyed his performance.
Have you seen any of his early stuff? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I've seen Last of the Mohicans and there's a couple other things. Okay. I don't know. The whole method acting thing seems like a way to make yourself feel superior to other people. And I think it makes the relationships that you should be forging with your fellow actors and crew very, very difficult because you are not actually being yourself. You are being the character from the thing you are in. And I don't know. I just don't understand that. It's not something that I would ever want to interact with. And I think he gets so up his own ass into these roles that it doesn't feel like he's acting. He feels like that person. And if I dislike that character, I dislike him because he has made himself into that character. So I don't like him as an actor, and I don't like Reynolds as a character. So it did not work for me. And what else didn't work was Johnny Greenwood's score. I used to be a huge Radiohead fan. I am not anymore. I sold off all of my Radiohead records this year because Johnny and Tom are both Zionists. They can go fuck themselves. Fuck off and die, y'all. I thought Johnny's score for There Will Be Blood was okay. It was one of the only things. It. I mean, it worked within the context of the movie, but it's not something I would ever seek out. This score is incessant. There's 90 minutes of score in a movie that's 130 minutes long. As someone whose dream is to do film score, I would never do something like this. It never stops, and it makes me feel uncomfortable. It's so overly saccharine and kind of off-putting to me. I don't know. And there's the scene where you actually see him go to the New Year's party, the flashback, and find her. And there's the music of the New Year's party, and the score is laid over it. It made me want to vomit I don't like that. My last point, I will end on a slightly less frustrated note. I think Cyril is a lesbian.
Oh, Cyril.
And I hope I'm right about that. I don't know. I wanted her to be a lesbian. Like I said earlier, I wanted her and Alma to get together after Alma killed Reynolds. That would have made this movie so much better for me. Okay, tell me your final thoughts now that I've just shat all over this movie. I am so sorry.
Oh no, my feelings about this movie are so secure that you can't hurt me. And you are not the first person that I've shown a movie to that was mad at me for it.
Hey, I'm not mad at you.
I know you're not mad.
I'm mad at the movie.
Mad at you, movie. This is like one of my favorite movies of all time. It is. I have it on my top 4 letterbox right now. It's in the other 2 spots that I might switch around, and I almost switched it out for like Chungking Express the other day. But then I went, no, I love this movie. I love this movie so much. I have a Phantom Thread tattoo. I have Incurable on my forearm. And like I said, it's being someone who, for the last many, almost my entire life, has been surrounded by gay men and has chosen to enjoy and be a part of. I was actually just thinking about this because I was listening to Girl That's Scary. They were talking about Grease and Grease 2. And I was like, oh my God, I was in London with a choir in like 1990. I would have been like whatever age I was in 1997. So like 7th grade. It'd be like 7th grade, 8th, going into 8th grade. As part of this girls' choir, and we went to London, and at one point, everything just stops. We're like in London, and it's the Pride Parade. This is my first time ever seeing a Pride Parade, and I just see this drag queen in roller skates, a full-on showgirl outfit, the lashes, everything. And as a lot of the other people on the bus are like, what are we doing? I'm like, that is what I want to be. This is what I want to do with my life. I want to just wear beautiful clothing and be a drag queen, which is pretty much what I've been doing. It's very complicated, when you have gender dysphoria. I feel like clothing for me has also been such an outlet and a way to express myself and my queerness and individuality. Sometimes I get afraid. What if I could be a part of a cult? And Brian was like, you would be a terrible cultist. And I was like, no, those people are the ones that always get taken into a cult. And he goes, Caitlin, you don't like to do what other people do. You don't like to be told what to do. If you think something's stupid, you're just going to not do it. And I was like, oh yeah, anytime I have been in like a structured system kind of like that, I do get in trouble, huh? I don't fit in very well. I'm like, I don't think anyone likes me. And so just for me, what I picked up on just like, again, the cattiness, what I felt was just very, very queer movie. And again, now knowing that Daniel Day-Lewis probably said a lot of these lines, also just like Leslie Manville I think there was a lot of improvisation on the set as well.
Oh, interesting. And
it spoke to me. And I was like, oh, like, look at these 2 like fucked up people where one's kink is their kinks are matching in like the worst way possible. And again, it's just like, for me, everything you don't like about it, I'm like, drama, delicious. I want to sit there with the popcorn and I watch this movie and I cackle. All of my notes were pretty much just quotes. I quote this movie. The entirely too much movement at breakfast, I say it all the time. I'll be like, oh, that's entirely too much movement. Oh no, you have to stop. This is entirely too much movement. Like if we're getting ready for bed and Brian, I don't know, is all stretching or something in the bed. And I'm like, this is entirely too much movement for me as I'm trying to like decompress for my day. Okay.
Yeah, there are definitely times that I'll stay over at Erica's and she will get up in the morning before me and just start making noise, getting a bowl out for her cereal, taking a shower, putting a podcast on full volume while I'm still trying to sleep on the couch. But if I get up and say, good morning, she'll be like, as if that is too much noise.
The buttering of the bread. Okay, this is right into my brain now. You're just boring a hole in my brain. It's a 5-star movie for me. I love it. I unapologetically, and again, I get a little bit of a perverse, when I make someone watch something that they really hate it, that I really love. I don't know what it is. It's like, oh, yeah, that really did it for me, May. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm glad that me strongly disliking this movie did not affect you negatively and somehow it impacted you positively. I'm not mad at you for making me watch this movie. I'm not mad about anything except this movie.
Love it.
Well, let's wrap up with what awaits us next time.
Don't you see? He's got us now. Okay, this is exactly what he wants. We can't go to the police. Not now. He's made sure of that. He's just out there and he's watching us and waiting. What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for?
Well, that brings us to the end of our episode. Thanks so much for joining us on this journey, fellow travelers. If you like what you hear, please leave us a rating and review wherever you can, because it helps more people find the show, and it makes us all tingly inside, like a warm cup of poisoned mushroom tea.
You're getting real tingly.
Yeah. You can find us on Instagram at Pleasers and Punishers and on Blue Sky at Pleasers Punishers. You can also email us at pleaserspunisherspodcast@gmail.com. You can find me on Blue Sky and Letterboxd at Everson Poe. You can find my music on Ampwell, Bandcamp, and streaming services as Everson Poe, 2 separate words. My record production finish date keeps getting pushed back, so once again, I'm just not saying shit about it other than that. And you can hear me podcasting on both Tender Subject and Slayerfest 98. Caitlin, where can you be found on the internet?
I can be found at Caitlin of the North on Blue Sky and Instagram, and Cat of the North on Letterboxd, though I'm not very active on Blue Sky.
It's true.
The multiples of social media really take it out of me.
Yeah, and I mean, that's fine. I run our Blue Sky account. You run our Instagram account. I don't even have Instagram anymore, so it works out. We each cover one of them.
Ooh.
Well, next week's episode will be our 2025 year-end review, and it'll be out on New Year's Day, so hopefully it'll be a nice listen while you're recovering from your celebrations. And since we're all about pleasers and punishers, we're not going to give you any old top 10 list. You might be able to guess what our plan's going to be, but you'll have to wait and see if you're right. Until then, do some aftercare, clean your toys, set healthy boundaries, and...
Don't pick a fight with me. You certainly won't come out alive. I will go right through you, and it'll be you who ends up on the floor.
Why am I aroused right now?
The phantom thread, 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 the phantom